I hate the fact that you are not in New York and you've decided to go back out to Los Angeles and completely screw us for another week in a row.
It's for a really good reason. Everybody, I apologize. I also apologize that I couldn't afford a razor. But let's get started. This week on the Road Testament, best cars and surprises of the Geneva Auto Show.
You can afford a razor. I'm pretty sure you can afford one.
Don't even waste my time. Et comme toujours, JF n'a pas de copine. This week on the Road Testament.
Okay, so it's the Geneva Auto Show. We spoke about the cars we were expecting out of the Geneva Auto Show last week. Now that they've all been revealed, let's talk about the ones we actually care about. Alex, best car in show.
Best car in show is the car I'm going to buy. I already put a deposit on it. The Morgan three-wheeler. It's true.
No, Alpha 4C was the best car in show. I have
Oh,
to disagree with you,
okay, I'm going to agree with
but
you because the Alpha 4C has four wheels. Therefore, it is a car, and the Morgan three-wheeler is not quite a car. But let's keep this short and sweet because there were so many awesome surprises at the Geneva Auto Show.
agreed.
Let's just go down the list, and let's give them each a one-liner.
Okay, all right. Let's start off with the Ferrari FF, something we've seen before. What do you think of a shooting brake Ferrari?
Love it in concept, like it in design, not so good in white, and the front looks like a Peugeot 307. However, it is my favorite Ferrari, maybe since the Boxer, and it's great to see them do something new and different.
My favorite Ferrari since the 355, I think. I think it's a beautiful car. I think it has an awesome concept, and it's something new from Ferrari, which is something we haven't seen in quite some time. Moving on, let's go to the Audi A3 concept.
Love it, love it, love it. It looks even better than the original A4, which I think was really the best Audi sedan, maybe in modern times.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's awesome that they're going back to a small sedan, and I think it looks great. They're going to build it. You
It's
know they're
what
going
the
to build it.
A4 should look like, because the A4 evolution has actually diluted the purity of a compact sedan from Audi. Let's move on.
Agreed. Worst car in show. Let's talk about the some of the aftermarket tuners.
Worst car in show is that Mansouri. What do they call it?
The
The Cornea.
Cornium.
Horrible,
Yeah, the
horrible,
cornea
horrible.
something. Oh, it's terrible. Makes an SLS looks. Yeah, if you really want to depreciate the value of your SOS any faster than you thought you could, buy that kit.
I don't know how they stay in business, but that's a whole other story. Well, the worst in show. That's so far away. The worst in show. I don't even know what to say. Can we move back to something that I loved for a second?
Yeah,
Saab
well,
had that crazy concept car, that two door, which is really
yeah.
really cool.
And guess who designed that? Jason Castriota, a kid from Connecticut. It's pretty
Not a
funny.
big surprise, man. That thing is really 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 cool.
Yep.
I have a list here. Hang on, let's move down this list. Really
How about oh
hate.
wait, how about the new Jaguar XKRS, the blue supercharged Jaguar
It's a
that
cool color,
they think
but
is a well they think it's a throwback to the E-Type. Well, it's the anniversary edition for the 50th anniversary for the E-Type, even though it has no grounds to be said as anything close to an E-Type.
it's an insult
Um,
to the E-Type. But it's nice to see Jaguar building better performing cars.
it's not much more performing than the
Look,
XKR
I
to
don't know what the
begin with.
market is. It's for people who want an Aston and can't afford it, in my opinion. But you know, let's just move on. Is that the worst in show for you? Second worst?
No, no, no. I was just moving on. For Jaguar, it's funny how Bertone is actually building better Jaguars than Jaguar is.
The
I think the
B99.
concept of awesome. I
Yeah.
can't believe that that Bertone it's the non. I can't believe how a company is doing better than the actual company that they're trying to represent.
I agree. But it's funny you bring that up because back in the day, Henrik Fisker, when he was designing for BMW, when he started Fisker, everyone was hoping he would design cars that were even better than what he gave BMW, like the Z8, which was absolutely, how beautiful
Yeah,
was that car? And then instead
yeah.
Fisker put the weird grill on cars, and it's weird. Like, I don't understand. Mansouri, Gambala, these people, I don't understand how some of these people stay in business.
The Subaru
Infinity.
the oh wait, you go, you
I'm
go.
sorry to interrupt, but the Infinity Etheria, is that Etheria? How do you pronounce that?
I think so. Yeah.
That's my second worst in show. That thing is weird, dude. I don't even understand like where they're going with this. But second best in show for me. BMW
Well,
connected drive, that crazy sedan with the Z1 type doors.
yeah, the doors that come up from the side, very Z1 like, very cool, and I love the front grille. Something different from BMW that we were not expecting. Much different than what Mercedes brought out, which is the new C-Class Coupe. Actually, Alex, I think it looks pretty good, and I think it's going to be even more badass when they come out with the C63 Coupe AMG Black Series. That's going to be a badass car.
I agree, but something Mercedes needs to stop. They need to do something more than just put bigger, better engines in the same cars because BMW eats them on handling every single time. And eventually, in the next few years, when Audi finally catches up and builds a car that has quattro and handles as well as BMW, Mercedes is gonna have a problem. I don't understand their strategy really, and also with the build quality. But that's a whole nother episode.
Well, we spoke about the Aston Martin Virage last week. Anything to say more about it after we actually see the real life photos?
I'm bored with it. Don't care. What I do care about, Audi RS3 Sportback. Very, very cool.
Well, we've seen it before. It's the first time it's
All
made
right,
its
that's
debut
not.
at an auto show. It won't come to the U.S., even though only 15% of the audience is from the U.S., so it doesn't really matter. I love the car, though. It does look cool.
Audi. Well, how about Hyundai i40 wagon?
Uh, I don't know yet. Gotta
Really
figure that out.
cool. Really, I think that thing is really, really cool. How is there any? I mean, those are the only things that stand out really off the top of my mind. Chevy Cruze hatchback looks better than a regular Chevy Cruze.
Hold on, no. What about the Wiseman Spider concept?
No, no.
The
How is Wiseman in business? Wiseman's like a ripoff of Morgan that's been around 100 years and builds great cars. And Wiseman looks like a kit car, a ripoff of a Morgan, but not as good. I don't. How is that company in business? Who buys them?
I think they get money from BMW, which is why they have BMW motors in them. I
I,
think that's the reason.
well, Morgan uses BMW motors, and Morgan has a history and a legacy. Hey, listen, let's not. I'm not going to conceal this. I'm friendly with Charles Morgan. He's a great guy. But that has nothing to do with my
I know.
opinion here.
I know.
Wiseman, if Wiseman buys me a drink, maybe I'll change my mind.
And we'll finish off with the Subaru Sports Coupe. It's a rolling chassis. Really can't see what the car is going to look like, but it's going to be the first rear-wheel drive Subaru. Well, actually, for decades at this point.
That I don't know. Subaru should spend some money on design rather than on new chassis and concept because they've locked down a corner of the market, which 4-wheel drive, boxer engines, lightweight, easy to fix, cheap to buy, great cars. I've owned one, but they should not
Hmm.
be switching up the concept. They should be improving the design.
Agreed. Okay, so bottom line, good show, bad show. What do you think?
Great show. In fact, maybe the best car, except for the Porsche 918 release a few months ago. I think the Geneva Auto Show was probably this year was the best, coolest, most fascinating show in years. And I mean, there are more interesting cars here than I've seen in any car show in a long time. And I think we should go to Geneva next year.
We should. I think the show represented something different for the industry. I think a lot of car companies over the past few years have been holding back on some of the extreme concepts. I really think this show represented a future for a lot of brands. Saab really turned it around with their concept,
Yes, they did.
especially with hiring Jason Castriota, I think that they did a great job bringing
Absolutely.
him on board, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of great things out of that company. I know a lot of people were upset we weren't reporting on it with Derek on Fastline Daily, but Saab
If
has a future. I really do think so.
I agree.
And
If I got to say one more thing before we cut off, to getting a little over long here, a car that was not a surprise but did show there that I really think is interesting is the Volvo S60, hybrid, the plug-in. And
mhm.
Volvo, like Saab, was a brand that many people thought was going nowhere, and in fact is coming out with the right models. So I'm happy to see that. Very, very cool stuff.
Cool. So good show, Al. Good show. Are you
Uh,
going to be back next week?
I will be back next week, and sorry guys, and I'll have a razor next time as well.
You're lying, aren't you?
All right, but as I say goodnight, JF, Charlie Sheen.
What about Charlie Sheen? Do you know they took his kids away from
When you see the episode and what I was just doing, a little toast to Charlie Sheen. Signing off from LA.
him?
Have a good night, JF, man.
All right, take care, Alex. Be
Bye.
good.